Let's talk about testing your hormones. You might have the symptoms of high estrogen, whether you're a man or a woman, but unless you test, you don't know if it's actually low progesterone, low testosterone, or estrogen dominance that's the main cause. So there's three different ways we can test the hormones. There's blood, saliva, and my favorite test, the Dutch test. Let's have a look at some slides of different testing options and I'll show you why I think the Dutch test is the best. But blood testing is still valid and I use it a lot in clinic.
This is an example of a blood test for the sex hormones. This is one way of testing estrogen, and it is quite a good way. It measures the LH and FSH, which you can't do in saliva or urine testing. And that's the message from the brain to the ovaries or testes to make hormones. And then you can measure estradiol, estrone, and estriol, but most labs only measure estradiol. So the disadvantage in the blood test is you don't get the metabolites of estrogen and testosterone, and you don't know how the body's detoxifying the hormones. This can be measured in a Dutch test. This is an example of one of the many pages of the Dutch test report. You've got your three different types of estrogen, estradiol being the strongest one, and then you've got the three pathways that estrogen can get detoxed down. Ideally, it wants to be going down this green pathway, and you don't want high levels like this going down the red pathway. And in most cases, you don't want too much going down this pathway either. This is known as phase one. And in the bathtub analogy, it's like how much estrogen are you putting into your system? And then the detoxification of estrogen or the methylation is down here. This is by the COMT gene. And so this is phase two of estrogen detox. And then using a test like the GI map test, you can measure beta glucuronidase for phase three. You also get, this is the metabolites of testosterone and DHEA. So you get a lot of different things in the Dutch test, including adrenal and some of the organic acid markers. This is an example of a saliva test, and basically it gives you different hormones, but doesn't also show you how you're metabolizing hormones. So my choice is always either the Dutch test as a preferential test or the pathology testing for its convenience. And finally, here's an example of one of the pages of the GI map looking at the intestinal health markers. And this is the beta glucuronidase, which can be high. And that means that your body, after it's detoxified estrogen through phase one and phase two, can start reabsorbing it back into your body. So you can be doing all the right things, but if you're not addressing this final phase, you still have estrogen dominant symptoms. Hope that helps.